And then there's also a free non-alcoholic drink and snack at our coffee shop. So anytime we do this, we give this to each one of our guests.
Thank you.
You're welcome, of course.
All right, so do I hold? Lunch is included. Wait, after your tour or? Lunch is included after your tour and includes a starter and an entree.
So for us,
Okay. Whoa. We are on the Queen Mary, and today we're showing you the VIP tour on the Queen Mary. Okay. Today we're showing you the VIP. Oh wait, hold on. Yeah. Okay. We are on the Queen Mary, and today we're showing you the VIP. Okay. We are on the Queen Mary, and today we're showing you the VIP tour. This is a 3-hour guided tour available on the weekends. We are on the Queen Mary, and today we're showing you the new VIP tour, a 3-hour guided tour available on the weekends.
And then from there, the first thing we're going to do together is we're going to watch our welcome video.
Yeah.
Are we
Okay.
ready?
Let me make sure it's on.
Let's head into our video room. We're going to watch just a short welcome video, and then we'll go from there. So, follow me.
Okay, yeah. First, we're going to the video room to watch a short video. Wait, hold on. First we're going to watch a short video. Okay. First, we're going to watch a short presentation of the ship. To the what room? Okay. First, we're going to the video room to watch a short presentation of the ship.
All right, everybody. Feel free to take a seat anywhere you like. Have a seat anywhere. Wrangle. You can call me Danny today if you like. And I'll be one of your guides for your tour today. We will be meeting also Captain James Sanders in just a little bit, and he'll be joining us for the tour as well. Myself, I've been on board now for 12 years, and I've been in my role as first officer since June of this year, but I was also a tour guide before that. So whatever your questions are throughout the tour, please feel free to ask at any time. And feel free to take all the pictures you like, do all the videoing you like, and stay close to the group as we make our way through. That way we can not only see everything in our time together, but more importantly, just so you don't get lost. It's very easy to do, especially on a ship this size. As I stated earlier, we're going to watch just a short welcome video. It's narrated by our Commodore Everett Horde. And then once the video ends, you can stay seated. We'll do a quick historical introduction, and then from there, we'll start walking through the tour. So for now, all you have to do is relax and enjoy.
Welcome aboard the world's most visited passenger ship. As our guest, you have become a part of living history. Prepare to experience a voyage through time.
So, to elaborate just a little bit on the ship's history. The ship was originally owned and operated by a company known as Cunard. Beginning in 1930, December 1st, that is, at Clydebank, Scotland in John Brown Shipyard. This is when the construction would begin for the Queen Mary itself. About a year later, it was stopped due to the overwhelming effects of the Great Depression. Cunard actually would have to file for bankruptcy. At the same time, the White Star Line, and anybody know who they're famous for? No? The Titanic. They too were feeling the same effects. So both companies, in desperate need of money, would reach out to the British government to get a loan. Government says they only have enough for one company, so rather than lose one, they strike an agreement and Cunard and White Star come together. So not only will they build this ship together, but our sister ship to follow, known as the Queen Elizabeth. By 1934, they had finished the hull of the ship together, and so it was time to finally launch the vessel and give it a name. Up until that point, we were merely known as Job Number 534. So September 26, 1934, our ship is launched, and this is when she officially becomes the Queen Mary. From that day forward, it takes 2 more years to complete her construction. 1936, she's ready for her maiden voyage. Believe it or not, in 1936, it cost $25 million to construct Queen Mary. Today, that would be $500 million. Now, Queen Mary's maiden voyage was between May 27th and June 1st of 1936. Her voyage is Southampton, England to Cherbourg, France to New York. Return trips are New York, Cherbourg to Southampton. Either one-way crossing took the Queen Mary only 5 days to complete.
Wow.
In 1938, however, on a return trip from New York, she will set the overall speed record for the fastest crossing of the North Atlantic Ocean. Her crossing, 3 days, 20 hours, 42 minutes. A speed record she held 14 years. In fact, the Queen Mary, in the middle of a transatlantic voyage, had word handed down from Great Britain that England had officially declared war on Germany. So, in the middle of the ocean, they told the ship, you need to prepare with military tactic immediately. This meant that all 2,000 portholes and windows are blacked out. All external lighting of the ship is turned off. She's ordered on a zigzag pattern to make her a harder target. Passengers were told to stay indoors so they don't give away the position of the ship. On board, mostly Americans. They're narrowly escaping Europe as the threat of war had finally become a reality. But there were also some rather famous passengers as well. They include Bob Hope and his wife Dolores, James Warner of Warner Brothers Studios, banker J.P. Morgan, and my personal favorites, the Three Stooges. Now, 2 days later, after the declaration of war, Queen Mary is set to remain in New York for the duration of war. That'll all change in March of 1940 when they call the Queen Mary up into active war service. It's now time to change this ship from a cruise liner into a military vessel. So this meant stripping her down to her bare bones, painting her battleship navy gray, and outfitting her with bunks and weapons. The ship itself would go on to carry the militaries of the United States, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. She would then, after the war, be known to carry the returning soldiers, as well as mixing in voyages known as the Bride and Baby Shuttle, in which war dependents and war brides are making their way from Europe to North America to reunite them with their new families, something that we undoubtedly called Operation Diaper. Want to set a record during wartime for the greatest number of passengers on board any vessel in the history of the world's oceans, a record we still hold. In July 1943, Queen Mary would go on to carry a total of 16,683 people on board. This was just over 15,000 servicemen and just under 1,000 crew members. If anybody's curious, the normal shipping capacity for Queen Mary was 3,200. Now, after all is said and done with her war service, she's restored to her former glory. Queen Mary returns to her regular service by July of 47 and will remain that way well into the 60s. But by the 1960s, due to the rise in popularity of jet airplane travel, Queen Mary could no longer keep up with her competition. And in 1967, after 31 faithful years on the ocean, Queen Mary is retired from service. At this point, Cunard has no other option for the ship. Can't keep the vessel, but they don't want to see her sent to a scrapyard. So they decide to sell her through auction. Bids come in from around the world, but her highest bid was from the city of Long Beach, California, which they offered $3,450,000. Today, it's roughly $32 million. Queen Mary was sold, and the last thing she'll do now with her public career is make her way to her new home. October 31st, 1967, she leaves Southampton bound for Long Beach. Passengers and crew members filled her decks, and everybody was excited to be a part of what we called the last great cruise. The only thing that passengers weren't prepared for was how long they were about to be on the ocean. Typical 5-day journey. This one totaled 39 days, traveling 14,550 miles. And you're probably wondering why. That's because on her final voyage, Queen Mary was actually 8 feet too wide for the Panama Canal. So she has to go all the way down around South America and then back up the coast. She arrives on Queen Mary shores December 9th of 1967. It takes 4 years to turn her into a floating hotel and attraction. But May 8th, 1971, we open here in Long Beach. 1993, we were entered into the National Register of Historic Places with Historic Significance. This year, we are going to continue to reach our milestones. Back in May, we saw the 88th anniversary of our maiden voyage. This past September, Queen Mary officially turned 90 years old. And this coming December, she will celebrate her 57th anniversary of her arrival to the city of Long Beach, California. So as you can see, folks, we have been a part of the city of Long Beach now for nearly 26 years longer than we were actually sailing the open seas. And that, my friends, is just a general look at her history. Now, do me a favor, just right outside into this little hallway area right here, please.
Yeah, they're like, just go this way.
Wow.
One thing I always love to point out that may seem a little archaic today are these little booths that you see right here, which are called telephone booths. Queen Mary was actually the first to offer ship-to-shore communication, meaning you would have been able to step into that booth, connect with the operator on board, and then we had the ability to connect to 600 different destinations around the world. But at that time, it would have run you $9 a minute to make that phone call. Today, that's close to $200 a minute.
Dang.
So you think Verizon's bad. But no, this was the way. And if we open it up really quick, you're going to see inside, on the flooring there, that's the original flooring that would have covered the interior decks of the Queen Mary. So all this you see below you now is a linoleum. This originally was cork rubber surface. So cork rubber's put in an area like this for two reasons. It's a lot less slippery when wet. That's an easier cleanup for those of us that don't do well on the oceans. You understand what I mean? Hi, you have a question? Fantastic. Are you staying on board with us tonight? Okay, well, tomorrow.
Yeah, because they said it didn't work, right?
Yeah, the tributes to the shops we originally had. So we'll step a little further in. J.T. Jones Bookstore.
This is the phone booth, and calls used to cost $9 a minute, which is $200 a minute in today's money. That's really bad.
So that's a tribute to him there. The shops on port and starboard, there are tip shops on board. The candy shop over there, you see Piccadilly Delights. Used to be a candy shop and a tobacco store. So we still have 50% of what it used to do. In the middle, you see Commodore's office, which is an office for our Commodore, our captain, and the first officer. We treat it like a visitor center. So if at any time you find us inside, if you're on board, hope you find the end of sort of like that. So we still use this main hall quite regularly. On busy days, you'll see the hustle bustle all through the area here. Other thing I want to point out before we move on, of course, is you can see that in the lighting track above. That is original to the ship, 262 feet in length, and at one time contained over 500 foot. As of today, we do all that through LCD. Other pieces we're going to find are frosted glass. Anyway, we are going to make our way up onto the open decks now, folks, right this way.
Wait, so this is the old. Should we talk about Piccadilly Delights? Okay. This is the lobby, and it looks really beautiful. That Piccadilly Delights there used to sell tobacco and sweets. Now it just sells sweets. Mention that this tour is normally during the daytime.
Yeah.
Okay. By the way, this tour is normally during the daytime, during the weekends. It's just we happen to be getting a preview at night.
Christmas. And so, wedding ceremony with the smokestacks. It's cool. And then each night there'll be arts and crafts, Santa's workshop, stuff like that. But then there's also themed nights where one of the nights we're going to do ugly sweater karaoke. We're going to have going on. So if you have the opportunity to come back and check them out, please do.
Wow.
Chill was one of my favorite things to do. In fact, the first year he was here was my first year on the tour.
Wow. Look at that.
Good for you. Good for you. I mean, yeah, I'm afraid, trust me. Or in them, that way. Anything that happens.
Wait, hold on. Let me get a photo with this.
How you doing today? Oh, I'm so fine and here. I'm hoping they can get a chance to meet the captain. You think they can head to the bridge and say hello? Oh, always. Alrighty. Folks, be granted permission by the captain.
Hi.
Good evening. I'm going to say it again. I said, good evening.
Good evening.
Yes, I knew there was some energy here. Welcome aboard the RMS Queen Mary. I am your captain, James. You are now located in the wheelhouse or the bridge of the ship. This is where they would steer or drive the ship. All of the equipment that you see here is original to the Queen Mary, except of course for the sonograph that you see here on the wall. Has anyone heard of a ship by the name of Titanic?
Yes.
Just a few of us, huh? What happened to the Titanic?
Sick.
Did she complete her voyage?
No.
How many times did she sail?
Once.
One time.
Barely.
Barely. Barely. That is correct. Barely.
Sadly.
And because of the sinking of the Titanic, the Maritime Association decided that, you know what? We need to implement more safety features for our ships. So therefore, here at the bridge of the ship, there is a lot of redundancy, meaning that there's always a backup system, so that the same thing that happened to the Titanic would not happen to the Queen Mary. You will notice there are 1, 2, 3 wheels here. This is the primary wheel that would steer or drive the Queen Mary. It is all 3 wheels are operated by hydraulics. Now, in the event that something happened to this wheel, then this is your backup system right here that could actually drive or steer the Queen Mary. The third wheel over here is called the Iron Mike. This is my favorite wheel on board the Queen Mary. I call it the lazy man's way of driving the Queen Mary. All of the information was taken away here from the chart room to set the course and the route. That information was then input into the Iron Mike. Once that information was input into the Iron Mike, then the Iron Mike was locked into gyroscope, where the black unit is located just right over here, and the Queen Mary was then on automatic pilot. Your car was the first car to have automatic pilot. Automatic pilot has been around for a long time. You will also notice there are 1, 2, 3, 4 telegraphs in this area. These telegraphs were used to communicate with the telegraphs at the aft end or in the engine room, so that the engineers would know what the navigator is doing up here at the bow or the bridge of the ship. If the captain were to say all ahead full, then all telegraphs would come to the very same position of a head full. The Queen Mary would then begin to move forward and out into the waters. Now, my family, in the event that something happened to these telegraphs here, then you had a backup system, once again, redundancy, just over here with these telegraphs. Do me a favor, tell me, what do these look like here, my family? Trumpets? You said trumpet?
Like, telephone.
Loud-ophones. Loud-ophones. The loud-ophones would be used to communicate with the docking wing here on the port side, as well as the docking wing here on the starboard side, as well as the bridge above us, as well as the chart room just behind you. And it would go something like this. Ahoy, mate! Ahoy, mate! Fix me a hamburger! I am hungry! And that information in turn would pass through these metal pipes to its destination. Guys, do you remember when we were in grade school, our what are called loud phones? louder phones. These telephones or louder phones were especially designed to be used in the engine room so that the engineers would be able to have clear communication from up here in the bridge, so that once again, we don't have the same problem that happened with the Titanic. Those are called loud phones. My family, I have a question to ask of you. If you're driving in your car and they say it's going to rain this Saturday, if you're driving in your car and it begins to rain, what is the very first thing that you would do while you were driving and it's raining? Windshield wipers. Ladies, gentlemen, I present to you the windshield wipers on board the Queen Mary. Whenever the Queen Mary would run into a storm, sleet, or snow, then these motors were activated, the windows would begin to spin, they would spin off the rain, the sleet, and the snow to give the navigator a clear view of the bow of the ship. Ladies and gentlemen, are there any questions? Would you like to come back here and touch the equipment and take pictures? Come on, because you are our VIPs. Come on in.
What's the difference between a telephone and a louder phone?
The difference between a telephone and a louder phone is the
Yeah. These louder phones send messages from here in the captain's room all the way to the engine room.
Full steam ahead!
Whoa.
Iceberg!
I mean,
Iceberg!
too late.
Yeah.
That was already.
I mean, I can't hear the other side, but this is pretty cool.
That's why they don't have. They didn't have.
It's fine. No, it picked. I can't hear the other side, but this is pretty cool.
The Titanic was missing the.
Okay.
Titanic's like literally one of my favorite movies. That's what I know.
Oh wow. So this causes it to go forward, stop, and back. Yeah. Full speed ahead.
With a touch screen and a joystick.
That is me.
True.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It's definitely.
Does it move? No.
Trust me, we've seen at least an average of 10,000 people every month in the last 24 months. Yeah, folks, follow me right this way.
Wrong shape.
Okay, so we're currently inside what's called the captain's quarters, and it all starts right here with the steward, the captain's steward. This was his pantry, so this is where Captain James could, I guess, get his hamburger. The captain's steward on board the ship was also known as the captain's tiger, and this goes back to the British area, was usually dressed in fine linens that had stripes on them. So that's why they were known as the captain's tiger. Speaking of Captain James, look at that.
I don't think it mentioned it.
Okay. Yeah. Next, we're gonna check out the captain's quarters.
The isolation ward? Yeah. So captain's quarters, you can see them behind me. This was where one of our 36 captains would have taken, of course, their rest in between or during voyages and things like that. Obviously one deck below our bridge where they would have been steering the ship. Now, the captain actually more on the decks doing public relations, making sure everybody was having a good time and making sure the departments were doing their jobs as well. His most trusted officers would be steering the ship. The only time you'd actually find the captain on the deck or up on the bridge is during emergencies or rough weather. Looking at the captain's quarters, this gives you the best view of what a first class stateroom would actually look like. And of course, the amenities that all first class passengers would enjoy. But, permission from the captain, if you don't mind.
My family, come close. Come close. Hi,
Hi.
how are you?
Good.
Because you are our VIPs, you are now about to do something that everybody and their grandfather would like to do. And that is enter in and look around the captain's quarters.
If you can find the
My family, everything that is in the captain's quarters is original to the ship. When we enter, please watch your step. It is a very high step. We cannot pick up anything. We cannot touch anything. We cannot sit down. We cannot lay in the captain's bed.
I promise I'll stop doing that.
But what we can do is touch the ceiling, guys. Ceiling, seriously, touch the ceiling, huh? Touch the ceiling. That's because the ceilings are low because everyone at that time was very short. The entire world.
Really?
The entire world was very short at that time. But they were also physically fit because they did not have the technology that we have today. And many of them worked with their hands and out in the fields to survive. As we enter in, the only thing that is not original in this room are the 2 ink pens on the table. Please enter and watch your footstep. You may take pictures.
There.
Please watch your step.
Have any questions?
Please watch your step.
Good picture right here of John Treasure Jones, the final captain of the RMS Queen Mary, bringing her here to Long Beach. He was actually the longest tenured as he was on board for 2 years. So we shifted through a lot of captains, mostly because they didn't want any one captain to ever grow comfortable and think that this ship was his. But also many of our captains who took the helm of the Queen Mary were doing so at the end of their careers. Because to be the captain of the Queen Mary, you needed 30 to 40 years of experience to do so. So this was sort of like their last hurrah before retirement.
Pinnacle of their career.
This is it right here.
So everything is original?
Yes.
So is it frozen from the last, you said the last captain?
Yeah, so from the last captain, this is
Like, it was
essentially,
just-
besides his personal belongings,
Yeah. It was just,
car right over there.
Even all these books are his?
No, so these are the books we've added to this area to dress it up. He would have taken his personal effects with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go check out the captain's.
We're standing in the captain's quarters right now, and everything here is original. It's so impressive. There's the captain. There's a stain on the bed.
I know, we'll see later. Well, you never know here. You never know on this show.
Look how low the chairs are.
I know, huh?
I mean, is that really true people were that short?
Yeah, I went to Pompeii and the doors were like this tall. My mom.
There you go.
Wait, yeah, okay. Back then people were shorter, so everything here is like, back then people were shorter, so everything here is pretty small. Like these sofas, the bed. Actually, the ceiling here is pretty high, but like, it gets shorter. I can touch it.
The captain's bedroom?
Okay. And this is the captain's bedroom. Of course, everything's original here, probably even that stain. So we can't go on any of it.
Captain would have had to go back
Over there for fun.
Alrighty, folks, if you want to join Captain Sanders just on the other side over there, and we are going to be making our way on from here.
Did you hear the horn blow?
Yes.
Where were you when that happened?
Out there, I think.
Just right up, you have a heart attack? Wasn't it scary?
Oh, we were inside the,
You were inside the building?
yeah, inside the.
Ah, you lucked out, guys. You truly did luck out. This way, my family. Please watch your
I
step.
thought you were going to say we get to blow the horn.
Oh, no. It's on automatic. flight timer. No, it is 10, 12. It's on automatic timer. Yeah. This way, my family. When the ship was actually sailing, there was a kennel here on board the ship. If you were in first class, you could actually bring your pets with you. Elizabeth Taylor, the actor, brought her poodle on board the Queen Mary. But in the evening, she would come and get the poodle, and she would go to the person in charge and say, "Oh, here's something extra. I want you to take my poodle with me to my suite. Please, don't tell anyone." And the Duke and Duchess of Windsor would do the very same thing. Oh, by the way, as you look over here, CSI Miami. The TV show was filmed right here in Long Beach, guys. This way. Radio station on board the Queen Mary, W6RO, and it actually works. In the event that there's an earthquake or huge earthquake in our California and the cell phone towers go down, guess what, my family? These don't work. So therefore, this will work, and it's operated by volunteers. Now, in the event that something happens catastrophic happens like that with an earthquake, they would be able to get in contact with all of the emergency services in California. And please, hold on.
The Queen Mary has its own working radio station, W6RO.
Weeks, these Christmas lights will be on, and they're going to
Hopefully I'll be here for that, for the lighting. Yeah, that'd be cool. Alrighty, folks.
Who's the only passenger line at that time to have shipped to more communication by telegraph. My family, we are now about to enter into my favorite room on board the Queen Mary. Today, it is called the Queen Salon. When the ship was actually sailing, this was the first class main lounge. As we enter, we will once again need your participation. When we enter, please walk forward, find a place in the center or the middle of the dance floor in which to stand. If you have a camera, feel free to take pictures. We cannot sit down. We cannot put anything on the tabletops because in the morning there's going to be an event in this room. Enter.
Wow. Oh my God.
Alrighty. So as Captain Sanders stated, this is the Queen Salon, the original first class main lounge. This is a room of entertainment for our first class passengers. So everything from gambling to bingo, movies, performances, and dances could all take place in here. The room has seen some change biggest change has been the flooring. So the carpet dance floor featured here today, it's not original by any means. In fact, the dance floor is probably from the 80s. The carpeting, believe it or not, 2017. The only original flooring piece left is there in front of the fireplace on the forward end. It is oak parquet, which is a wood floor that covered the entire area in here. The room is still set to the theme of music, very evident in the bronze reliefs above the doorways and stage behind me. Those bronze reliefs were done by an artist named Maurice Lambert and are entitled Symphony. The piece you see on the forward bulkhead there above the fireplace is the second largest piece of artwork on board the entire ship. It's known as a gesso. What a gesso is, it's a wood carving painted over the mixture of plaster of Paris and glue, and it can be gilded with either gold or silver leaf. This one just so happens to be gilded in both. It's entitled Unicorns in Battle, done by Alfred J. Oakley and Gilbert Bays. You might be wondering, why unicorns? And that's a great question. We don't really know. My interpretation behind the whole piece is this. If you put it this way, the Queen Mary being built in Scotland, if you don't know, the national animal of Scotland is the unicorn. So why not have unicorns on board the RMS Queen Mary? The fireplaces and the lit up urn sconces you see lining the pillars to the stage are all carved out of the same block of gold onyx. That way they match. But if you're curious, our fireplaces did not burn anything. They were actually more just electric heaters. Above the middle fireplaces are two large mirrors. Those two mirrors have two distinctive features. One, as they face each other, they create what's called the infinity effect. So it seems like you can look on forever as you look into both. Secondly, the mirrors are set with a peach-colored glass. If you're feeling seasick, looking pale or green, you can look into one of these mirrors, see a nice healthy complexion, and try to trick your mind into thinking you're no longer seasick. Yeah, I don't think it worked. Behind me, on the stage, is where you saw the performances. Everybody from the likes of Bob Hope, Fred Astaire, Buster Keaton, Bing Crosby, Laurel and Hardy, the Three Stooges, opera singer Lily Pones. We've also seen Liberace, Johnny Mathis, and other people of that nature giving performances here in this space. During World War II, this actually became known as the Officers' Lounge. It's where the officers would go for various meetings and things of that nature. As of today, we still regularly use the room. We use for both public and private events, as well as our daily tours. Now, if it does look familiar to you at all, it's because this has been seen in such films as The Aviator with Leonardo DiCaprio, The Natural with Robert Redford, Godfather 2 with Al Pacino, The Parent Trap with Lindsay Lohan, more recently Amsterdam with Margot Robbie and Christian Bale filmed in here, as well as Being the Ricardos with Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. TV shows include The New Girl as well as Brooklyn Nine-Nine using this space. But, any questions?
Did they film this room for Parent Trap?
Yeah. I'll be getting married next year. All right. You gonna do it here? Yeah, on the ship.
This room was used for entertainment for first-class passengers. And wow, it's amazing. So much gold color.
There's no way I would be so tired after like 4 hours.
This is the Duke and Duchess of Windsor. That gentleman at one time was the king. Then he met her. He fell in love with her, who happened to be an American divorcee, and he wanted to marry her. But in order to marry her, he first had to give up his kingdom.
Oh.
And yes, he did give up his kingdom. And yes, he did marry her. Ladies and gentlemen, I want everyone in this group to know that no, Captain James is not giving up his kingdom.
Wait, is he Captain James? Wait, this is the Duke of Windsor?
Yeah.
This is the Duke of Windsor who had to give up his kingdom to marry the Duchess, I guess. Wow.
It didn't do very much damage. No one perished.
And
my family, when we entered through those doors, we have now entered into first class, as well as into the hotel check-in for the Queen Mary. The first class passengers would either enter through those doors or through this door, these doors here, depending on how the ship was docking. The windows that you see in front of you are not original to the Queen Mary. The original doors were made of steel. When the ship arrived here in Long Beach, these glass windows were installed so that you would have a beautiful view of the harbor, the marina, and beautiful downtown Long Beach. And the doctor's office was located just right over here in this area. All right, my family, as we walk down the staircase, please hold on to the hand railing for your safety.
That's a really long hallway.
You both. Even Captain.
I don't know whether it's fair or not. I don't take everybody's stories the same way, right? Like, I've had some of my coworkers even who tell me a story and I'm like, okay. And other
About the brothers, right?
Yeah. We just couldn't find their house.
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's right here. Yeah.
Dude, they might get released.
Yeah. I went to the press day or whatever when they had the family speak outside the courthouse.
Oh, did you?
I was there, yeah.
All right. How was the atmosphere?
It was tons of media. It was very busy, but everyone was pretty cordial, and which was interesting because you get a lot of people like that. Sometimes can be,
Yes,
and media frenzy, but it was actually pretty chill. But yeah, it was cool. What? To be a part of history.
Yes. History that is about to be made.
Yeah, like as it happened. Yeah, because I was born when that, the year, I think it was 89, like that.
Right.
I was born that year, so I don't really remember it, obviously.
Company meetings and stuff like that. Marine balls, marine balls.
News media.
Ooh, look at that.
That area just right over here. Yes, it is. At one time, they actually had 21 elevators throughout the ship.
This one still works, you said, or
Oh, no.
yeah. Pull up a tire chair.
Hey, guys.
It dropped so far down.
That would be scary.
Yeah, what?
I gotta let you know, I
What?
have an elevator here on the ship.
Yeah.
Except it was an aft elevator, a freight elevator. So I just sat down on the floor, took the telephone on and said, help. Hey guys, can you see this this railing here? See these bumps here? What do you think these bumps are for?
So you don't slide down.
Yes! Yes, correct. So when the ship was actually sailing, kids, as well as some adults, would slide down the railings, and many times they could not stop their momentum. Therefore, breaking nails, breaking hands, toes, feet, perhaps bruising their egos. So therefore, they decided to put butt busters on here to stop individuals from sliding down the slide. All right, guys, hold on to your hand railings as we go down.
That's
the
so
stairs.
funny.
That's what I was.
Oh wow.
That's what I thought.
So these bumps are to stop people from sliding down.
Just right over here, please. Just right over here. Just right over here, please. Warning. Warning. From this point forward, I need all of us to stay close together. Since we've started the tour, we have been walking like this. The reason we have to stay close together now is, as well as watch your head, because some of the footing that we are about to encounter is uneven surfaces, and you just might hit your head on some of the overheads where we're headed. Warning, warning, warning. What you are about to see is not real. It is not real. Some of it is left over from what is called Dark Harbor. for Halloween.
You're like,
Is there gonna be a monster in there?
They're arranged by section on the ship or smoothly survive.
That's cool.
Whoa.
Good. Hold on to the handrails, guys.
What's that? Oh. Oh, they have.
Last person that tried to get out of here.
First class.
Look through the window.
It does feel very like more uneven in this area.
Yeah.
Yes, it does. I haven't lied to you yet.
Wow. That is
Look through the
crazy.
window.
That's where the secret door was.
First class.
But that looks kind of creepy though for a first class site.
But I wonder if it's a reason. Wait, I guess I should. I'm like, of course, I go off the trail.
Okay, yeah. This seems like it might have been part of a Halloween maze. Although maybe not because the floor is uneven. But I don't know. Did we come here? Ah. Oh yeah. Okay, I think this is some leftover stuff from Dark Harbor.
This is original?
No,
Oh.
this is a prop for Halloween.
Oh, these are props?
Yeah.
But are they gonna stay though? Are they,
No.
They're not gonna stay. Well, I mean, the doll. The doll lockers.
Well, this looks
The lockers
cool.
will stay, right?
but-
You can't be here by itself, guys.
Wait, the lockers will stay though.
I don't remember the uneven floor though.
I think, I guess because this maze is
Call her
like,
Annie.
I don't remember the uneven floor.
all bathroom, or it's like,
They took my girl.
and then it was all tiled and stuff. I don't know. Yeah.
Huh.
But I'm
She's
wondering.
laying down.
But I'm wondering.
Yeah.
Tired balls.
Yeah. Dude, I worked in the death. Just right over here, please.
Oh wait, I remember.
And take a little side view of the first class swimming pool.
Oh.
Someone asked me momentarily ago, had I ever had an experience? When I first started working here, I was learning how to become a tour guide. So I was following what was then called, and still is called, the Haunted Encounters Tour. We were here at the bottom on the right in the dressing room or the changing room. I was at the back of the group learning how to give a tour when suddenly someone touched me in the middle of my back. I thought it was a guest that wanted to pass. I turned to let the guest pass. There was no one there.
Ooh.
Guys, this April of this year, 20 years later, I had to go and face my fear and see if whatever it was still was in there. When I walked in, nothing happened. When you enter into the pool, watch your step and take pictures.
Okay. Oh, okay. Wow.
No, this is, we can get this rectangular section is as far as we can go.
Wow. This was the first class swimming pool. You could still see the slide over there.
That's what
The dual dimensions are 60 feet by 42 feet. The shallow end to your right is 6 feet deep. The deep end to your left is up to 18 feet deep. The shallow end being 6 feet deep is too deep for California State Code for recreational pools, which cannot have a shallow end more than 3.5 feet deep. So that's part of the reason why we can't use the pool area anymore. The pool can be emptied or filled in a matter of 25 minutes using 24,000 gallons of salt water. That salt water actually came from the condensers in the boiler room, or in the engine room, I should say. So they would condense the steam that passed through the engines, and once it heated up the water in the condensers, we would just pump the seawater in here. The pool featured a slide, 2 diving boards, and 4 ladders. The diving boards were removed almost immediately due to safety reasons. The The pool is typically only used 3 months out of the year, the safest months, which would be June, July, and August. The ceiling is mother of pearl. We chose that because there's no indirect lighting into the room, so they felt the indirect lighting that hits these mother of pearl would make it look as though that the sun was breaking through the ceiling itself. Now this was a first class pool. Second class had their own pool located at the stern of the ship, which is now part of a theater that we hope to resurrect soon. And third class, well, they didn't have a physical pool, but they were given time in the first class pool area. But only when first class had gone to high tea service. After tea was over, third class had to leave and first class would then come back. But out of request from first class passengers, the pool was to be drained, cleaned, and refilled every single time. I wish that were fake, but that's an actual real thing.
Every day.
They drained the pool, they cleaned it, and then they added bunks into the pool itself. They actually slept almost 180 troops in this one room.
Oh, dang.
But keep in mind, this sits on top of what was at one time an active boiler room. And the average temperature of a boiler room is 120 degrees Fahrenheit. That would rise and get caught in this area here. One of my favorite stories of the pool room, though, is a guest was traveling on board and said that he had jumped into the pool to just, go for a swim. And unfortunately, he started to struggle a bit and was starting to drown. And out of nowhere, some gentleman jumped in, saved him, and pulled him onto the deck, laid him here. And he looked up, and it was Johnny Weissmuller, the original Tarzan, who had saved him from drowning in the pool. The doors we came through here and the doors on the other side over there actually led to bathhouses as well as a masseuse and steam rooms as well. So you had those types of amenities available to you on board the RMS Queen Mary. Alrighty. Oh, we should continue. Captain James is waiting for me.
This is the first class swimming pool, and a fun fact is that they did let the third class come here sometimes, but after the third class came, the pool would have to be drained and refilled so that the first class passengers could have a clean pool.
Until it happens to you. It happens to you.
Well, or the most
You will
content.
not know.
That's pretty much what they say, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Everybody
It's
feeling
also
good?
not a scary feeling.
I gotta ask you, when you entered down here, did you feel the atmosphere change?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
heavy.
Yes, it is a thickness down here, guys. And it's not us, we didn't do it. I promise you, we did not do
It
it.
feels a little bit kind of like
What you are now about to see is not real. Watch your footing, watch your head. Watch your footing, watch your head. Hello there, you.
Huh.
This is creepy though to see them in the day like this and not have dark harbor.
Just think, when it was
Oh my
dark, it was
gosh.
even creepy, yeah.
But you're expecting it, I feel like. So it's not.
She's just hanging around.
1 year
Dang.
when we came, it was that butcher's maze,
Oh, yes.
and they had you crawl through an oven.
Yes. I like that.
Yeah, me too. It was so fun.
Wow.
Oh my gosh.
That's,
This way, my family.
it's almost the holidays and it's still here.
Watch your head. Watch your head. Just right over here. Watch your head. Watch your head. Watch your head.
Oh my God, this is.
Watch your head. Watch your head.
This looks like a trap.
Watch your head. Gentlemen, my family, we are now about to give you a wow factor. As a matter of fact, create your own wow. This way, my family. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is what brings
Wow. Oh.
Took months, now, years.
almost,
About
right?
a year or so.
It's what's it called?
Because
It's,
there were 27
there's a word.
Guess what?
Not vertigo.
They had
Yeah.
to first take the smokestack.
Vertigo?
That's kind of what
Wow. That's a cool
That's kind of what I
photo.
Enter my family.
Oh my. Oh, there's. Oh no.
Never to be heard from again.
Imagine they just got left there.
Oh my god. Wow.
Then you would have become part of the history of the Queen Mary. We would have been telling tales about you.
Folks, we're currently descending below the ship's waterline by 4 fathoms. A fathom is a nautical measurement of depth equal to that of about 6 feet. So when we arrive on G deck and the elevator doors open, we will be 24 feet below waterline.
Oh, wow.
We're gonna achieve the lowest deck we can reach as passengers and or crew members on board the RMS Queen Mary. We'll step out, we'll step into boiler room 2. We'll talk a little bit about that, and then we will make our way back upstairs.
Yeah. It's heavy down here.
Yeah.
Especially in
To
there.
breathe.
Are we underwater?
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Please follow Officer Danny.
It said 24 feet. Yeah. We're 24 feet below sea level.
We had actually 5 separate boiler rooms housing a total of 27 boiler tanks. Boiler room 1, just in front of us here, would have housed what are called your Scotch boilers. And they're going to create steam to power our turbo generators. Queen Mary powered all of her own electricity. She was making 9,100 kilowatts of 220 direct current every single day. Put that into perspective, that's enough power to manage a city of 100,000 people for 24 hours at a time. Boiler rooms 2, 3, 4, and 5 that follow. This was what we had what were called the Yarrow or Yarrow boilers. They're going to create steam for the engines. Now, the steam created in here was at 700 degrees Fahrenheit and moved through the pipes at 400 pounds per square inch of pressure. And it would be driven all the way to the engine rooms to pass through the engines and get the ship to move. If you look down here on the keel, you can actually see the braces that would have held these boiler tanks in place. You can almost still see the markings where the acetylene torches would have been taking these apart. And they would have just pulled all this stuff right up through the smokestack vents. As you look onto the bulkhead, you can see where the paint meets red and white on there. That is the water line. So that's hard. You can also find some of the remnants of the old gangways and ladders that these gentlemen would have used to get around these areas. So all these passageways we're walking on now, this was all added to the ship for these tours.
So the smokestacks are above the boiler room then?
Yeah, actually, you can kind of, it's actually in the next boiler room, but our smokestack 1 is just in front of us. You can still see where the angles up over there and that. So that, where it's kind of like, this looks like a plane spreading across the sea.
Yeah.
That's kind of the vent.
Yeah. Okay. Where the roof angles up there is the vent for the smokestack.
Working conditions down here, of course, as you would imagine, weren't the most desirable. We talked about average temperature 120 degrees Fahrenheit, which means you worked 4-hour shifts, and you were given 8 hours off, then you work another 4-hour shift, and then another 8 hours off. You would wear flight suits, long sleeves, and long pants, and of course, specially made wooden-soled shoes, that way your feet would not melt to the floors. The most dangerous thing you're going to be involved with, though, is the steam. The steam created in here, if it was to leak from a pipe, would be invisible. It doesn't have enough time to condense, which means there could be a wall of steam in front of you, you wouldn't even know it, and that steam could go through you like a knife through butter.
Whoa.
So, to protect you from all that, you were given a broom. You held that broom in front of you, and you watched for the bristles. If the bristles started to move, guess what? You're in the presence of some steam. And then probably a good chance to reroute, go around to another side.
Dang.
Also, we have what's called a double cellular hull. So there's an outer wall that actually touches the water. Then there's about 8 to 10 feet of space, and then this inner wall here. This is the inner hull of the Queen Mary. Inside that double hull is where we would store our fresh water, but it's also where we would store our fuel. So you ran off of Bunker C crude oil. So when you refine oil down, everything that's left over is what the Queen Mary would burn through. A thick, viscous-like material that oftentimes had to be heated up before it could be used in the boiler tanks. We would consume 1.5 million gallons per crossing. We could hold 2.4 million gallons within our hull. So every 5 days, we were basically having to refuel. We could push it, make a round trip, but typically we're refueling every 5 days. By 1966, however, the average fuel cost per day was at $66,000, which was far too expensive to keep the ship in service, and one of the many reasons why she was forced to retirement a year later. So the room would repressurize before you could pass to the next stop. Yeah, so you would walk into one, the door would close behind you, and then this door would open when the ship or when the room repressurized.
Oh yeah, water.
Were these people paid really well? Cause
What's that?
were these people paid really well?
And there they did have
Yeah,
jobs.
travel, right? Yeah.
They got to travel.
Okay.
They would get to go spend money in New York and buy
Be doing working in a factory or like in an office, right? Like pushing.
far different than what we experience.
Also, what were the ages too of like the guys that worked on?
This you have to be 18. Although you had to apprentice like business.
16. Oh my God, that's my age. Whoa, look at that. That's just, what?
So real quick, you're actually in, this is the remnants of the water softening plant. So we actually we would purify our water in this area right here. So all the fresh water would run through this area right here.
For drinking on the ship.
Mostly used for the boiler tanks.
Oh.
Although there was a small ration of fresh water for you here.
Are we good, sir?
I have to check right now.
All right. Hold up, guys. This guy. This right here was part of the housing, man. Part of the housing for the boilers in here. The Yarrow boilers. My life's not that bright.
So were the boilers?
Wait, what?
She was good, man.
Oh, it doesn't smell good.
Well, this is
I mean, like,
not
this
an original
second-
elevator.
This elevator's gonna want to take off in a minute once it adjusts. 4, 6. Okay, we got it ready.
Everybody got the
think we got
fingers?
everybody.
I think so. I
One
don't
by
know.
one.
I don't know.
Different places.
Hey, this is good to know.
Yes, it is.
This makes it to make sure on your left cap.
All right, come on out, guys.
Need 84, 85.
Just right out here, please.
Whoa, okay. Finally, we're back to somewhere that looks nice. That looks safe.
The pool, well, not the pool, but the captain's quarters for sure. And then, if we do get the opportunity, we're going to.
So what happened to the Queen Elizabeth?
Unfortunately, it's caught fire and capsized in Hong Kong Harbor.
Sure did.
Yeah.
When was that?
1972.
I watched her go down, man.
What do you say, Cap? Are you hungry?
Yes, let's go eat.
Let's go eat.
Oh, wow.
E40. That's considered the most haunted city.
Right out here, please. Thank you. You're welcome.
Where else does the tour normally go for the VIP tour since it's 3 hours?
Say it again.
So what are these red tanks over here?
That is for fire suppression. This is the fire station, guys.
I'll be one deck down on the port side.
So the pool would be the other tour.
Just on Paranormal Ship Walk. But we like to go down there.
We were here.
How you feel?
Oh my God, what a long hallway.
Look at that.
That's
It's
crazy.
because of this. But it's called
Oh.
shear to deck, the banana shape that is built into the ship to give it strength and flexibility. Look all the way down, guys. If there were a person on the other end, all you could see was their knees.
It's not a mirror, I promise you.
God.
Oh, fan.
Johnny, go put it down there.
I do want to stay.
You should.
I've seen him so showing that.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that the shower was
Hello.
said brackish water. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is your brackish water.
Did you stay before you moved for or did you?
Feel the beautiful breeze. This way, my family. Please find your name card for your sitting place. Please find your name card for your sitting place.
Okay.
Please find your name
So I'll be
card
here.
for your sitting place.
Oh yeah. I was like, this is
Me too, I was like, I was wondering who that was too.
I was
What
like-
is that?
I was like, that's a bougie name.
It was
This tonight. She'll be by the second to get you guys' drink order started. But again, just want to say thank you guys very much for coming and being part of this tour. And I look forward to see you guys rest of the night and then having a great time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you.
You made no
Don't look under this. Then moved on to PR and working.
My pleasure.
So now we want everybody in the state to come to the show. And we just celebrated Veterans Day. That was fantastic. After I finished giving the speech, thank you so much. After I finished,
Yes.
You gonna throw me under the bus again?
Wow, look at these fries.
yes. Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just wave by. Yeah, just wave by. Okay.
Oops. And that is the VIP tour on the Queen Mary. I remember going on a tour I remember going on a tour of this ship once when I was very little, but I also don't think that we were able to see that many things compared to this one, because for this one I think the most memorable. Oh yeah. For this tour, I think the most memorable parts were going to the bridge and getting to like steer the wheel in the captain's area, then going to the captain's quarters, and there's just so much original furniture, and there's just so much original furniture, and there's just so much original furniture kept on the ship still. So it's like you're walking through history through a luxury liner that has just been frozen in the past, and along with some mentions of the ghost stories, but like that wasn't the emphasis of this tour. And then the other part that really impressed me was seeing the engine room from the top, because And the other part that really impressed me was seeing the engine room for the top and then getting to ride that elevator down below sea level. That was really cool. Oh, Captain James. Yeah.
And lunch.
Okay, yeah.
Inclusive meal.
Okay, yeah. And the burger I had for my meal was so good. I'd also like to give a shout out to Captain James. But then what about the other guy? And Danny? Wait.
Yeah, Danny.
Danny, right? Captain Jameson.
Officer Danny.
Okay, yeah. I'd also like to give a shout out to Captain James and Officer Danny, and I really appreciated that during the meal time. And I really appreciated that during the mealtime, Captain James made an effort to get to know all of us, and we were able to have a really good conversation at the table, which is something that I haven't had in a while. Okay. All right. Be sure to check out this tour. It's available on weekends. See you. We are at Queen Mary in Long Beach, and today we're going on the VIP tour. All right. We are at the Queen Mary in Long Beach, and today we're going on the VIP tour.